Hello. Welcome to the Goods. I know that you have been looking at us wearing our Fly Goods podcast gear and wondering where can we get those. Well, guess what? We have the answers for you. We have it here, Teespring. Go to Teespring and you will find all of this glorious merchandising, from t-shirts to mugs to, well, there's other toys, but we can't talk about that now. Go to Teespring. Enjoy our memorabilia. And we're back, all flash.
No substance.
In the year 2021. Happy New Year.
The comeback.
The comeback.
The comeback year.
The redemption.
The redemption
year.
year.
Apology.
2020, the apology.
2021, the apology. That's right. Because, hey, 2020 was like one of the worst years that I've been a part of.
Right.
You know, starts with Kobe dying.
Oh, God bless.
Started with that. And then, obviously, the pandemic ruined and killed everything. Right? So it was very disappointing.
Yes.
So what better way to start 2021 than to relive some disappointing movies?
That's a perfect way to do it. Some of them may have came from 2020.
That's right. But 2020 was one of the most disappointing years. So we gotta talk about some movies that disappointed us.
Right.
And hey, who knows? Maybe they disappointed you too. If you
sure
have different ones, please be sure to throw it in the comments below.
And I made the joke for from 2020, but it does not limit it to 2020. This can be from all time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Any movie, doesn't matter. So Terrence, go first.
All right. So I had some ones that really kind of bothered me, and I went with my list with my expectation, because there's going to be some movies out there that's like, oh, that's just a crap movie. Why is that not on your list? Because I knew it was a crap movie when it came out.
And you know what? And that doesn't qualify as a disappointment.
Yeah, that's not a
if you
disappointment.
already know it's gonna suck.
I looked for movies that I was really hyped to go see in the movie theater, and then when I got there, I'm like, what the man?
It's like bad sex.
Yes, it's just like bad sex. But you're too far invested, and you can't go. You can't go. Not till it's over. Sometimes it takes a long time to get there.
That's very true.
And we're talking about a movie still.
Yeah. Number five. Number five.
I went with, only because I was super excited about this. This is around a time where like the blockbuster summer movie was some big alien invasion, special effects, some blah, blah, blah. No.
Oh, okay.
That should have been man, I wish I kind of want to replace that one now, but it may be an honorable mention. But this one it wasn't done by Michael Bay. I don't remember who did this film, but it starred Rihanna. Battleship. I was really excited, one, because it was a stupid premise to turn a board game into an actual movie, but because it was aliens, it was this big budget summer blockbuster, I was like, you know what? They can make something out of it. I start to think back of things like, hey, Rubik's Cube, Rubik, the amazing Rubik, was a damn cartoon about Rubik's Cube. So if they could do that, they could do something with Battleship, right? No, they couldn't. It was stupid. The aliens were dumb. Rihanna could barely act. The movie was just kind of all over the place, and it was like on the sea for a little bit, and then it was on the land. So how does this have to do anything with Battleship?
It's like Jason Takes Manhattan. No, he's on a boat the whole movie.
So I was very disappointed with it, and that's why we never got a Battleship 2, because I was disappointed.
That's why, yeah.
All right. Number four. Number four. 2020 strikes again here.
Which one?
Bad Boys for Life. I was so excited about this movie.
You are out of your mind.
I'm sorry.
Will this ever be on You Don't Hate?
I don't hate it. I just didn't like it, and it left me very, very disappointed.
Okay.
Very disappointed. Look, Bad Boys 1 set a blueprint of this whole franchise. Bad Boys 2, another level.
Right.
Another level.
Right.
Took us over 20 years to get back to this one again.
Okay, so let's say that, so Bad Boys 2 came out in what, 2002 or 2003? And then, like, all these 17 years later, Bad Boys 3 comes out.
Right.
Had
it
Bad
come
Boys
back then?
Come back in 05,
yeah,
or maybe 07, you think it would have been better?
Yeah, because it had a different plot. It wouldn't have been about his damn long-lost son, who was him, but not really him. And, I mean, the story was stupid. I didn't like the story. And I get the whole, untouchable Mike thing, and I got it. But that would have worked better, 5 years from Bad Boys 2. 17 years later from Bad Boys 2 didn't make any sense.
I remember when they were talking about this movie, and you know, the movie hadn't even come out yet, and you were talking about and you were saying,
why are they still detectives?
Why are they still detectives? They should be fucking captains by now.
Right.
They should be captain. Yes, captain.
Yes, Captain. It's like
Captain.
everybody. It's like they could have done so much more with this film. They could have they could have used the new people that they put into this film. Hey, that's the team that they're leading, not just like they're competing and they kind of have to. They did that in Bad Boys 2 already. They already did that already. I don't want to see them rehash the same thing and basically take people who are obviously at the point where they could have grandchildren. As a matter of fact, he does have a grandchild in this film, and making them almost, except for Marcus Burnett, but making Mike Lowry the same person. He hasn't grown in 20 plus years. I was like, I didn't like that. I didn't like the son angle because I already saw, what was the one with the clone of him?
Gemini Man.
There you go. I already saw Gemini Man. I didn't need to see Bad Boys for Life Gemini Man. I didn't need to see that again. I didn't see it. It was very disappointing to me. I know there's people out there that like it.
I love it.
Put it in the comments if you didn't like it.
I love it. I love that movie. All right.
Number three. Speaking of movies from the Smith family, Matrix Revolution.
That was pretty bad.
Look, Matrix, an amazing film. Matrix Reloaded, okay film. But it was a cliffhanger. It was bad CGI in it too. Yes, it was a cliffhanger, bad CGI even back then. Cliffhanger in it that kind of made us think, hey, wow, we're gonna get something really awesome in the finale of this trilogy.
It looked good, especially didn't they show kind of like a preview of Revolutions, like at the tail end of the credits or around there, or right before the credits?
I don't remember. I just remember them fading to black when they found Agent Smith as the other character, the one survivor from the whole ships being blown up. And at that, I was kind of like, But anyway, it set up something. So the excitement, you built so much goodwill in the Matrix franchise for them to flush it. Them to absolutely flush it, because that movie was not good. I will give them the holding the wall thing. Was that in Revolutions, right?
I don't remember.
Exactly. That's how unforgettable. I can't remember what was one or what was two or what was three. Was the holding the wall scene was probably the best. Yes, it was, because then they had to wait for Neo to stop everything, and that's the only reason why because that was probably the best part of the movie, but the rest of this movie was not good. It got so overly convoluted as far as what was what and all this. Matrix Reloaded did too, but Revolutions, it was just kind of all over the place. They were trying to merge so many things together while expanding out their whole thing. Look, no, just him versus Smith, and then it led to this whole other thought process as far as who was really the one. I want to know that he was just the one. I didn't need to be. It left me with too many things. I walked out of it unsatisfied, and somehow when Matrix 4 comes out, I hope they fix it, which they probably won't. Number two. I feel like I've rambled quite a bit on these. Number 2, sticking in space. We weren't in space, but we're back to space now. We're talking about aliens before. Alien Covenant. Hate this movie. Prometheus. I know people don't like Prometheus. I love Prometheus. Prometheus did a great thing as far to explaining.
There were some parts
the
that were
origins.
But there were some things that, because they tried so hard to connect it to the alien universe, but there were some things that just did not.
No, they forced the end of Prometheus.
Yeah.
They forced the end of Prometheus, and the whole Scooby-Doo thing with the little ship and stuff like that, and she couldn't just make a left turn and get out the way. But, sorry, Charlies. But Alien Covenant, basically, they set up a whole thing in Prometheus to say, we're going to go out there and we're going to find it, who, where, what they were thinking, why did they create us, blah, blah. And they're like, forget about that. They just died. Hey, this android right here, he made the aliens. I don't care. I want to know where we came from. That was this whole thing, is about understanding.
But isn't it because they were on their way to do that? They were on their journey to do that, but then they got sidetracked with the freaking signal, with the other signal, so they chose to divert from the original.
No, that's a Covenant thing. But the whole thing where they were going, she was leaving with the head, and she was going to find out where the humans came from. Mm-hmm. Not where aliens came from. We figured out where the aliens came from. They explained it in Prometheus. We got it. They've been shoehorned in an alien at the end. We got that point. I did not need to know where these sit with the Xenobites came. Xenobites? Not Xenobites. Xenomorphs came from. That's a different movie. I didn't even know where the Xenomorphs came from. We already got that answer.
Okay.
I want to know where we came from. I wanted to figure out.
More from the engineers.
Yeah, I want to see more of what we were planned to be. Okay. What was this? That's what the story I thought we were gonna get, and basically it was like, let's explain the Xenomorph some more. I don't care. I really did care, and it disappointed me so much. I was just mad the last half of that movie.
This is where nostalgia can cripple a franchise just as much because they try so hard, like you said, to shoehorn certain things that are familiar to the audience when they don't need to do that. If everybody already knows that it's in the world of aliens, so they can venture out and do new things.
You sold me on telling us where humans came from and how we were tied to the engineers and the xenomorphs. If you want to say like, hey, you know what? I know they kind of said like we're kind of the same thing because he kind of used us to kept trying to like rebreed the xenomorphs. I get that point, but I want to know where they were thinking about us and where we became the failed experiments and they went on to the xenomorphs. I wanted to understand that and what was a greater purpose of the engineers. Come on.
Number one.
All right, so number one, I went with the most waste of time movie, even though it had some great parts, but the most wasted of time of movie, Sucker Punch. I felt like I got sold a bill of goods where they showed me in the trailer all the good stuff that they know we wanted to see. And then when we got there, they were like, ha, fooled you. This movie's really about nothing. It's about nothing.
I mean, I agree 100%.
None of this stuff is really happening. It's all dreams. You don't even realize because they kind of do the whole thing where like it was one story and then they're like, that backstory that we told you about, that's not even real either. We changed that story too. Where it's like, oh, she had this whole bad dad. No, there's this whole other line of story. It's so stupid. I hated it. All you did was like fast forward. Okay, cool CGI part. Fast forward, cool CGI part. That's literally how the movie went. If they could just cut those out and make a fan edit of that, I would watch that.
The dream sequences were the best part of the entire freaking movie. You get Emily Browning, who's great as Baby Doll. All the girls look fantastic. They did such good jobs. But it like Snyder wants you to think that it's all about Baby Doll, and it turns out to be about Sweet Pea and Abby Cornish's character, Sweet Pea, and it just turns everything around. Like, what are you talking about? I thought it was about her. Like, Oscar Isaac was great. I loved him in it.
I mean, if you had to have a good takeaway from it,
where's
the fan edit of just the dream sequence?
But overall, it was like Chicago.
I've never seen Chicago.
In Chicago, it's
Chicago.
Get out of here.
Sorry.
It's like Chicago in a sense where her imagination is what keeps her from, like how things should be in her imagination. So all these musical numbers and everything going on in her imagination. Same exact premise in a sense where when she's like in her freaking daydreams or she goes off, all of that action and all the good parts, it's like it draws you in, and Snyder is visually does such a damn good job, especially after, because Sucker Punch came out a few years after 300, so he was still on a roll with that, and it was, he like visually was beautiful, but then yeah, you're right, it's like, it completely freaking 360 your ass, and you don't know, like, what the hell's going on?
I like this movie better when it was called Alice in Wonderland.
All right. Okay, so
that was my top 5.
So normally, and of course we got to break the streak where your number 1 is my number 5, because we're not gonna do that. Now, how I ranked my top 5s were actually like, I liked it. It doesn't deserve to be number 1 because there's a lot of good parts to it.
Okay. So they're still not great for disappointing films.
It's still a good movie. It's a good movie, but it disappointed me.
Okay, it was a good movie, but it had something that disappointed you.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And that was
like Jaws 3D.
Number 5. Jaws 3D was freaking awesome. All right.
Jaws the Revenge.
There you go. Number 5, I'm going to go with The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Now,
you don't hate The Last Jedi.
You don't hate The Last Jedi. I liked Rian Johnson's attempt to take it in a new direction. But where he messed up was he did not take it in a new direction with the core of what this saga was about.
Right.
It really looked like
F you, JJ.
Yeah, if it was his trilogy,
right? I mean,
then great. Yeah. Do whatever the hell you want.
Because he would have set it up better, and it was like we would understand what he was trying to say in it.
Correct. But he did not.
He was trying to change what JJ had said.
He tried to change almost what Lucas said.
Okay.
Because that is not Luke Skywalker. No. I don't give a damn how many years that all of this took place.
Luke Skywalker, think he could become a grumpy old Jedi?
No! And even if he did, his talk
starring Walter Matthau.
Even if he did, his talk with Yoda would have done.
Okay.
Now, if he would have after that talk with Yoda, gone to the freaking thing and lifted the X-Wing in front of Yoda, something he couldn't do in Empire.
Right.
That would have been awesome.
Right.
You know, and actually have him be the Luke from freaking Mandalorian. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But completely changed the narrative on him.
Okay.
And you're built on this. You're on this story on what Force Awakens is built with Rey, and you're really expecting this is a brand new character, and you completely like just go away from her in a way. I mean, yeah, I know Ridley's still a big part of it, but it's not like there is no progression really in her character in a lot of ways from the first one. Does that make sense?
I mean, there's a little bit more training.
Very minor. Some of the dialogue was good. I mean, I liked a lot of the dialogue. Her performance was great.
I'm starting to agree with some of the trolls online. Well, not trolls, but hardcore Star Wars fans about
Jeff! Our good friend Jeff Garcia. There you go. This is for you, buddy.
Hardcore Star Wars Jedi fan, not a troll. I'm starting to agree with a lot of the things that I kind of didn't feel was as impactful as most people felt, like the Luke thing. I didn't think it was that impactful to the overall story of it, and then some other issues in the movie. But I still love that movie. It's one of my favorite Star Wars films. I wouldn't put it on my top 5 list, but okay.
Well, it's more than Luke. From jump, the exchange between Poe and Hux was cringeworthy.
Well, because
I did not.
He wanted to continue that joke,
but I did not like it. There was something about it I did not like it. The Leia Poppins thing killed it for me too. There was a certain part of it that, just like I said, went away from the lore, went away from the mythology, and to build something new. Which, if it was completely different characters, like if Rey can do that, or if she found a way to do that. Yeah, that'd have been different because it's a brand new character, new force powers. They're learning. It's different. Okay. Everybody's got different force powers. But to have Leia do it, it would have been better had she just blown out.
Okay.
And been done.
Well, they couldn't kill her and Luke in the same moment.
Yeah, I know. But anyway. All right. So that was my number 5. Number 4 was Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. I thought about putting it in my list, but you don't hate Suicide Squad.
You don't hate Suicide Squad.
I thought about putting it in my list. But was I really disappointed? Okay. I mean, for me as a person who's familiar with Suicide Squad, I didn't expect a lot of great things. I was happy they got the characters right, and the overall feel of the movie was fine. It had a lot of things that went wrong for it, but it didn't disappoint me.
The thing that disappointed me about it was when you're looking at the trailers and you're looking at everything, even the poster. Joker's the primary villain here. He's the primary.
It was supposed to be Escape from Arkham.
Yeah, and he's the villain. He's the main one that they're getting together to stop.
Right.
And he's not in it.
Or Attack on Arkham, not Escape from Arkham.
Yeah, he's not in it. So they just completely. You want to talk about Sucker Punch giving you one thing and going another direction?
Yeah, I mean
Suicide Squad does the exact
all
same
of the
thing.
trailers were about the Joker, and then they just like, oh, Joker's in here for about like that much time.
Yeah, he was in the trailer longer.
Yeah, he was in the trailer longer than he was actually in the movie.
Yeah, so because of that was the disappointment, was that you advertised me this and you gave me something completely different, and then the shift in tone. We had talked about that a lot of times, how errors in the studios, it was just conflicting styles, and killed it.
Right. Definitely.
Because they were feeling so much pressure from what BVS did.
Yeah.
And all the criticism
like
that
the
it
whole
got.
dark DC.
Yeah.
We got to make it lighter. We got to make it funny. We got to imitate Marvel. So.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why that disappointed me.
Number 2.
Number 3.
Oh, it's number 2. Number 3.
Number 3. and this is awful. So Jeff, this is just for you because number 3 is Rise of Skywalker.
How did that disappoint you?
Rise of Skywalker disappointed me because now I'm in this journey now that Rian Johnson has me on. Now I'm in this new journey. Now I'm like, okay, I didn't agree with this, but this is where you're going. All right, let's see what you got.
Anyway, pull back and go back to JJ's.
Exactly! I hated that! And you know what? If Kylo Ren is gonna be the main villain, he is now the supreme leader.
Right.
He does not need that shitty mask anymore. Give him a completely new design so you have some
JJ
progression.
didn't want him to destroy the mask.
It doesn't matter. It was destroyed. The concept of a mask to pay homage to his grandfather.
He needed his fall
great.
season version of the mask.
Give him a brand new style, a Vader-like style of mask to show his character's progression as Supreme Leader.
Okay.
Give him something different. Instead, he literally Oh, you broke my mask? All right, let me.
I broke my own mask, and I'm just kind of...
No, I'm talking about.
He was like, oh, you broke his mask, we're gonna fix it.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams was like, oh, you broke his mask? Oh no, I'm gonna put it back. And everything from, it's just Johnson and Abrams. They had their own agendas. It just looked so much like his was let the past die. I don't want to talk about your Luke. I want to talk about my Luke. And his was no, we're gonna talk about my Luke, or we're gonna talk about my story that I started. So that was just, it just killed it for me. So that's why it's number 3. But you don't hate Rise of Skywalker.
You don't. I don't.
It was a fun movie. It just disappointed me.
It's okay. It's okay.
Number 2 is Iron Man 2.
Whiplash sucked. Whiplash sucked.
Mickey Rourke was like hot off the wrestler, so he's like really good, right? And you expected something from him,
Right.
And it just didn't happen. And it was so freaking like, there was no fun in that movie. That movie was so, I know it's based off the time when he was an alcoholic, when Tony Stark was an alcoholic, and all that.
I feel like that movie was more about Tony Stark than it was about Whiplash. So the whole Whiplash thing, I almost feel like if you think about with every other MCU film, it's not about the villain until we get to Thanos. It wasn't really about the villain. It's more about the hero and how they save the day and what they overcome. So I didn't really care about Whiplash that much, as opposed to,
it wasn't,
I need you to fight somebody.
That's not why.
Fight Mickey Rourke.
That's not why I cared about. That's why I didn't. That's not why it disappointed me. It disappointed me because all of the elements of Iron Man 1 were gone. Like, it was just not, there was no joy in that movie. And it's surprising that it was Favreau that directed it too, but there was just no joy in that movie.
Yeah, like you said, the story they were trying to tell was that him battling his alcoholism. They had to touch on that from the comic books. If they didn't do it, the fanboys would have blew up. Like, when are we gonna get to this?
All right, and my number 1. And it is no surprise, and
it's Bad Boys for Life.
A guy named Matt out there can vouch for me on this. Number 1, the most disappointing movie is Halloween 2, Rob Zombie. You piece of shit. I can't stand that freaking movie. That movie was the worst movie ever made. It started out great. It's continuing like the freaking, like Halloween 2. They're going to the hospital, and then it turns into the freaking Grudge just so he can cast his wife. I hate this movie. This movie's a piece of shit. I don't care for this movie.
I mean,
John Carpenter is rolling in his grave. He's not even dead.
It sounds like you've never seen The Curse of Michael Myers.
No, I'd rather see. You know what? Curse of Michael Myers, as much shit as we give it, has the best kills in the franchise. This movie was
still a bad movie.
It was just awful. I would rather see The Curse of Michael Myers than freaking Halloween 2 Rob Zombies.
I didn't hate it as much as you hate it.
I hate
The Curse of Michael Myers.
But see, the thing is that that's my killer. That's my guy. Michael Myers is my guy. That's my number 1 horror icon of all time.
Okay.
I love Freddy Krueger, but he's my freaking number 1. So when I see this and what they do to him, it's just ridiculously freaking awful. I have never lost sleep, with the exception of when Manu fouled Dirk on that freaking 2006. I have never lost sleep on anything the way I lost sleep for Halloween 2. I could not sleep for a whole week. I was bitching to my wife for a week that I could not stand that movie.
So you're not on board with the hashtag Halloween 3 Rob Zombie?
Never. Never. Unless it's Season of the Witch. All right. Honorable mentions.
Because you said it, I didn't think about it, but I don't know why I didn't think about it, because I really hate that movie. ID Resurrection?
ID4 Resurrection.
Why has it 4? Didn't even happen on July 4th. That movie didn't happen on July 4th.
That's what they know him.
All right, but anyway, that movie, garbage. They killed Will Smith. They killed him. He's a franchise. How you kill him before the sequel?
So he can do Suicide Squad.
So he can do Suicide Squad.
Where they don't forget it.
All right, 2020 Strikes Again. Mulan. Not a good movie.
It's kind of good. The cinematography was really good.
It was boring, and all the great things about the original Mulan they took out. No, not a good one. Other one, Alien Resurrection. If we're talking about alien films, that fourth piece of crap that came out, it was like...
Was it better did you like that one better than part 3? Or did you like part 3 better?
Part 3 better. At least part 3 it made some sense. This just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. They had other xenomorphs. What if they needed out of her... Go back to the planet if you need to see no more. Why do you need to clone Ripley? This doesn't make any sense. There's a whole planet. No, they nuked the planet. I'm sorry. Before you guys light me up in the comments, they didn't nuke the planet, but that's fine. I'm sure there's a floating arm or a set of teeth out there, just like in space. You can find a xenomorph. It's there.
How about the original xenomorph that they let out in the first one when he goes out?
Yeah, where's it?
Go look for that.
Look, the Ripley cloning thing was stupid. I didn't like it.
All right.
I didn't like it. That's my honorable mentions.
Oh no, I got a lot. Spider-Man 3.
Oh God, I didn't put that one on there. But was it disappointing?
From beginning,
or did
I've said it so many
you,
times.
You don't hate Spider-Man 3.
You don't hate Spider-Man 3, but from beginning to middle, great. From
Okay.
middle to end, suck.
I'll just let it go. Next
Okay.
one.
All right, I had Sucker Punch also.
Okay.
I had Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes.
The one with
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I like that.
That one kind of disappointed me a little bit.
I liked it.
Green Lantern.
They should tie him into the wars and bring back at the end. They just like show up with Mark Wahlberg at the end. Him going into space. That'd be great.
Okay, I had Green Lantern.
That disappoints.
Yes, it did.
Were you that big of a Green Lantern fan that you were like you had so many expectations?
No,
for Green
I
Lantern?
was a bigger Ryan Reynolds fan.
I
And
think
it
Ryan
was-
Reynolds did great in this film. I had no problem with Ryan Reynolds.
It was all right.
I had problems with the powers of Green Lantern and how they represented him on screen in
Okay.
his costume. That's what I had
Okay,
problem with.
and this can actually be flipped. Either get it out of honorable mention and put it as number 3, or whatever, right? And that's Iron Man 3.
I actually don't like Iron Man 3.
Okay, or like Screen Junkies.
The
like to call
Mandarin
them.
thing really upset me
Okay,
in that movie.
and that's where I was going with it, because him having the trauma from the wormhole and all that, I liked it because it was not too long after. It was the first movie after the first Avengers, so I kind of liked that continuity on that part. I liked how it affected him. I got that. Okay, great.
But them trying to kill him in 2 other films, he ain't got no trauma from that.
Yeah, no shit.
It was-
But Ben Kingsley, who is such a freaking amazing actor,
Hate what they did.
who is fucking Gandhi. He got an Oscar for Gandhi. Like, how do you waste his talent? Because he let you really buy into the fact that this version of the Mandarin was a real threat. And he looked the part. The character design for him was amazing. He looked great. And it started so strong with him. And then they made a mockery.
Who directed that film? Because I know
Shane Black.
Okay, that's why.
Shane Black.
From Predator fame.
Yes. Yeah. So, the twist with the Mandarin was just too much. And then the Guy Pearce extremist thing was just, I would have preferred that it would have just stayed the course and had Ben Kingsley be the
that was
Mandarin.
a whole thing where they combined 2 things for no damn reason.
Yeah. It sucked. I hated that part. And
I know it's like the extremists
And-
and the Mandarin thing
Yeah.
are 2 different things.
And what I was gonna say was like Screen Junkies just calls it regular man because he's like barely in the suit.
Yeah, he's barely in the suit.
He's
It's
never
like,
in the suit.
At the end of the film, he's not in the suit. He just basically calls for the roadies in the suit more than he's in the
Yeah,
suit.
Stark 3, that's it. That's Stark 3, that's what that is. So that one was a really big disappointment on that one. And of course, that piece of shit RoboCop 2014. Yeah, sorry. That's one of the worst movies.
You can't see it. It's off screen.
No.
Right here.
It's off screen for a purpose.
Near-
and here's the
near-
bad
near-
thing is I gave him that poster and I
love that
regret it. The
love
poster's
that
better than the movie.
I
I'll
love
tell you
that
that right
movie.
now. The poster's better than the movie.
Him back for RoboCop 2.
Terrence, take us home.
Once again, bring him back for RoboCop 2. I would love to see it. I'd be first in line. Pandemic.
I like him as Rick Flag better.
Yeah, nah. Bring him back as RoboCop. Alex Murphy. All right, so hey, it's been another top 5. It's been a while. Somebody had to take some time off for New Year's and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all the other holidays that went past that he wasn't here for. So we appreciate that he's back today, and we're back with top 5. So make sure you put your top 5 in the comments below, so that way we can kind of see what you guys are working on. I'm sure there's a bunch of crappy movies that we even listed more than in honorable mentions that we had on our list. Make sure you put them in the comments below. And it's a new year for 2021, so this is the perfect time for you guys to subscribe, as well as click the notification button, so that way you're aware of all the great things that we're gonna do for 2021. Hopefully, somebody will be here for me.
Yeah, Art, where are you? For Art, where the hell he's at, and Aspen, where the hell she's at, and Carla over here doing nothing. I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And we'll see you next time.
Real quick, if you're still here, because we do these into the video little blooper things. If you're still here, look down. There's a link here for Patreon. If you guys like the show, please give us money.
Give us money. We'll take a penny. We'll take a nickel. We'll take a dime. We'll take a dollar. We have some stuff on there that we're giving away on Patreon if you do contribute, because trust me, we need help. We need help. We want to buy new equipment, and we need an editor. Somebody who doesn't have to stay up in the middle of the night, or they'll have to stay up in the middle of the night, but I won't have to do it. So please, down patreon.com/thegoods. It's in the link. Please do it. We appreciate it.